Hey friends, update time at the rabbitry. Um, Before we get going into what I'm talking about, I just want to give you a picture of these guys and how well they're doing. This has been our biggest and best brood to date. All doing very healthy. Um, as you can see, they are American Chinchillas. Um, their grout's not huge. They do okay. Wow, the world today, isn't it a crazy place, eh? I don't know what to say about it. Just mind-boggling. I'm not going to get into world events. I'm just going to stick to the rabbits. So the last time we left off, we were talking about this new ventilation system that we put in. We have purchased a second fan. It is in, but I just wanted to go over what we did with this. Sorry the noise. Just a minute. Let me turn around. That's these guys, by the way. Let's turn this off for a second. There we go. That's so we can hear each other, friends. There. These guys are doing quite well. It's not too bad, the heat in here today. It's pretty good. These guys are way more tolerant to poking and prodding and touching and whatnot. So they're getting up there in weight. They're probably about 2.5 pounds now. It's a good batch. They're happy. Well, so there we go there. Everybody seems to be in good health. Growing out very well. We're running low on hay. We got to find a new hay source. That's getting to be a little bit of pain in the butt. We're done breeding right now for the hot season because they just don't do well for breeding in the heat. So, in case anybody wanted to know, this was our last girl. She was bred on the 21st of May. And her name's Kathy. Jake's new girlfriend she come over and named all the animals, which is okay. But anyway, let's get back to the fan. So what we did is we took a piece of 3/4 inch sheeting. That's plywood. That's cheap plywood, by the way. And we put it up against the front bow, which is that structure in there, and we traced it out. And then we cut it out with a jigsaw. So after we cut that out, you can see that gray flap hanging there behind the cage. That's the material that we cut the hole out of. I didn't cut it right out because I thought if we ever changed our mind or did something else with this structure, if it lasts long, then we'll just change what we're doing with it. And then we'll be able to use it for other purposes. So that's how we did that. This is about as simple as it gets. Those are self-tapping drill screws. They call them tech screws. They drill and screw at the same time. You drive them with a hexagonal drill driver that goes into your drill driver, your little impact ratchets, whatever they call them. Yeah, they go in there and they do the job. So some of the people have been asking about the cages and how we build them or how they should build them, and I kind of wanted to give you a recap on the cages. The cages are 36 by 24 by 24. So they're 36 inches long. Okay, they're 24 inches deep and they're 24 inches high. Okay, and they fit in these stands. And each stand is set up so that each cage will fit in it. So they're all interchangeable. You can pick the cages out. Sorry, it's against the, he gets a little heavy. There you go, he's all right. That's the Joker, he's a good guy. So the cages can come out for pressure washing. We can move people around if they're not getting along, being neighbors. We can move them around. Just a minute, Joker's upset now. Just a minute, friends. Let's have a look at this guy. Hey, beautiful. There you go. Hey, here's what he wants, right? He just wants some love. This guy lives on love, don't you, buddy? You live on love, eh? Sure you do. Me? You live on all kinds of... That's what he does. That's what he wants, eh? He won't bite you. He won't grunt. This guy is just amazing. He's a good boy. Anyway, yeah. So that's where we are. So let's go. Sorry, getting back to the cages. And then what we do is all the cages can move around. So you don't actually have to move the rabbit around. You just pick the cage up and away it goes. We can take the frames and we can sanitize them and we can scrub them down. We can take the the frame stands, the pans, everything comes apart and everything interchanges with everything else. So that was the whole idea here. That's the modular design. We started it off with the wood frames and we didn't like the wood. And I'll tell you why. There's going to be all kinds of people argue that, well, yeah, the wood's good. And I'm going to argue that it's not. So what I'm going to tell you is that, yeah, you can do wood. You don't have to do wood. Or you can do all steel. And I'll tell you why we picked all steel was cleanliness. We can keep everything clean. We can keep it scrubbed. We can keep it painted. We can do whatever we want. It doesn't matter, right? It's what it makes everything totally flexible. We happen to be millwrights, which is, you know, guys that can do fabricating, and we can do what we need to do to get the job done. We have the welding equipment. We have all that stuff. Some people don't have the capability of doing it, and that's okay. And if you want to run with wood, you can run with wood. If you want to, you know, that you just got to remember there's some precautions that you have to take. Wood absorbs the urine. Wood absorbs the you know, anything left over from the feces, which that has a tendency to have bacterial issues. So that's why we shy away from wood as much as we can. It's not to say that it's bad, but it's not the greatest. So you do what you can do. If you're looking at doing a rabbitry and you want a similar setup to what we have, there is possibilities of somebody local being able to fabricate those for you at a reasonable cost. The material's not that expensive. We could go one step better. We could have galvanized all the stands. We have 2 local galvanizing companies that do hot dip, but we didn't. We just thought, you know, painting's fine. So yeah, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys. That's what we did. So you can, you know, if you look around the rabbitry, you can get an idea. So, and there seems to be a lot of confusions. Again, I harken back to Facebook and talking to the people on there and what they want to do, and you know, and it gets into pissing contests, which I don't get into. So, many successful broods out of here. This is what we do, and that's it. That's all we do. So.
Got somebody who's wanting to sell me another American Chin dog, one that we lost in the heat. He's getting out of American Chins. He wants an easier breed to find. I like the American Chins because even if I was having problems, I'd cross them out. Really like their mothering abilities. So I gotta he's in Sarnia somewhere. I gotta make a trip down there and pick up this doe, and she'll replace the one we lost in the heat. Other than that, that's it. We're waiting on this gal. We're showing some nesting behavior. She's prematurely pulling some hair. She's still keep her nice and cool. Well, hopefully the temperature stays somewhat realistic because she'll be due within the next week or 2 weeks probably. So that's about it. She's pulling fur a little bit. I think the hormones are kicking in. The fur is starting to loosen up. She was nesting with her hay yesterday. Nesting box goes in on Sunday. So.
Okay, so we'll do a real quick recap. The feeding. So we're feeding these guys a combination of pellets and hay. So you can see the feed boxes. We do free feed. So what we do is we don't put that much in there. We just fill it up so that the gap at the bottom is gone. We put the hay in. They feed off of the hay and the pellet. Some of them you'll notice we have water dishes because they're not bottle. They just don't like the bottle. So that's okay. So what we do is push that down. Now you'll get some different arguments about people feeding on full pellets or full hay or full whatever, right? So this is what we do. We do pellets and hay as a mixture. They seem to enjoy the difference in the hay. It's something different for them, and they like it. So that's where we are with that. So, in a nutshell, we do the pellets. This is what we buy. Okay, these are empty bags. We save this to sell the rabbit poo in, but there's the rabbit breeder and the regular rabbit. And we store it in galvanized garbage cans. That's the scoop that we have to scoop it out. So that takes care of the feed. Watering is done via the water bottle. Okay, everybody gets a water bottle except the ones sometimes that they don't want to take a water bottle, so then they don't get them. So if anybody, the next video I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and do the cage video over again, and we'll do a cage step-by-step video for you guys, and that'll give you some in-depth detail about how to build the cages. So if you want to build your own wire cages, which I highly recommend you use wire because that's what we like, I suggest that you buy yourself a good pair of J-clip pliers, a good pair of side cutters, and 14 gauge wire. Do not use 16. It's too light. It's too flimsy. And that's from my own experience. And if you tell me all day long you want to use 16 gauge, we'll argue it. Okay, so there we are with that. You can get yourself this plastic sheeting. It's probably available everywhere. It's 1/8 wide, and we use that to make barriers so the rabbits don't spray on each other, because they will do that. You can see the evidence of spraying here. That's all the way up the cage. This guy is capable of shooting urine all the way over there, so get that as an idea. Okay. Again, the side cutters you need. You can use a 1/4 inch grinder to do the buffeting.